Yeah.
So who are we?
We are Doug and Leslie Gustafson, and we have a mission to help motivated couples find the love, the passion, the romance, and the sex that they really long for in their marriage.
Yes, what we call a dream marriage. Yes, and it sounds lofty, we know, but we are living it and have been for 21 years, and we have helped thousands of couples, over 70 years of combined experience.
I feel old when you say that.
I know, you feel old to me.
I'm the young one of the two. Never.
So you may want to get a pen or pencil so that you can kind of, sort through the what we're going to be talking about today. We are talking about whether or not you are settling in your marriage.
Tonight or today, we're going to, depending where you're at and listening, I guess, we're going to be talking to you about one of the top 5 signs.
No, the 5 big signs.
5 big
Not
signs.
one. We're going to talk about 5.
That's true. We're going to talk about 5. Aren't
The
we?
5 big signs.
We have 5, and they're at the top of the list. We feel define an important idea that is prevalent in marriages that are struggling. That's complacency, the status quo.
To settle is to live in status quo, and status quo is complacency. And whether you know it or not, complacency is a top killer of marriage. It also, just as an aside, makes your marriage a little bit vulnerable, or quite a bit vulnerable, depending upon how you answer here, to outside influences. So this is a super important talk, and we're ready to jump in.
And, it's kind of like the invisible enemy too.
It is.
It's the one you don't think of necessarily that often, but it's big.
It is complacency, settling, status quo. It's not for you. So here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Boom.
Number one. You never have heated discussions with your partner. You never have heated discussions with your partner. Healthy, vibrant, alive relationships and marriages have invested, engaged, heated discussions. They can be rather passionate too, and animated, okay? Because 2 differing opinions are entering in, and you guys are hashing it out. Couples who are at risk are the ones who aren't having invested, engaged conversations that are passionate often. These should be happening often. So that's number 1 of are you settling? Heated discussions are critical. Go.
And number 2 is the overall feeling in the home is sad, tense, or even flat. So we feel like marriage is meant to be alive, vibrant, thriving.
Yes.
We call it energy because it feels the space. It's what it feels like to be in your home, to be you.
What does it feel like to be in your home? Generally, most of the time. Is it flatlined? Is it sad? Is there an underlying tension? That's a little piece of evidence that you could be settling, or you're living in a status quo, complacent kind of place.
And our third one is playfulness and flirting
and fun.
And fun.
Yes.
Those things. It's just heartbreaking for us to know and see couples who have lost that sense of vibrancy again, that energy, that fun, that laughter, the enjoyment of being with one another.
It's really what we originally married for, right? That great connection.
It is.
Where you're light with each other, where you spar with each other, that it's playful, that you flirt. There's an active energy that's alive and exciting. People want to be in those marriages. And so when those drop out, that's a big red flag. And it's heartbreaking to see. We see it all the time. But, your marriage is meant for more.
It's meant for more.
Yeah. And here we go, guys. Big problem and evidence that you're settling is sex is either nowhere to be found, inconsistent, not very exciting when it happens, and never mind-blowing. Sex is super glue to marriage. It needs to be happening, but it needs to be good sex. It needs to be mutually pleasurable sex. And those of you who have followed me for a while, I can go on and on and on and on
it needs to be something
about this topic, but it needs to be something
you're
that a couple
to.
looks forward to, so much so that they actually prioritize it and make it happen. And they get into a flow and a rhythm, and it happens quite a bit to the liking of them both. So that's a big, are you settling? Where'd the sex go? Hopefully it's alive and well.
And passion and romance too is a part of that.
Yes.
The energy behind that.
Yes. I think it's you.
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, we kind of planned it out here, guys, but we're a little bit of a dog and pony show. Our old timers here. Oh, no offense. People who've been here a long time know that about us.
We wing it a lot.
Okay. When you're at home, and this is the last one, this is number 5. When you're at home, you're mostly in different rooms of the house and you don't talk very much. This, my friends, is what avoidance looks like. And avoidance is a very sad place for a couple to be in, where you're paralleling in life, where you're kind of leaning away, where you do your own things, where it may feel safe and protective, but there's not leaning in. You're not on the couch like this. You're not spending all the time together, or at least a good bulk of the time together. In fact, when you come home, you may even be dodging and weaving and moving away from each other because maybe you're afraid to have contact because it's not good when you have conflict and something happens to you, so you just lean away. And so that's a sad home, not unlike our other point, but that's very telling. And I think you have a little bit of a story about
I'm going to tell a story,
that,
and obviously we'll change names to protect the innocent.
To protect the innocent.
Confidentiality. So this is a story of Jim and Peggy, and I'm really hoping there's no Jim and Peggy in the tribe.
This isn't you if you are Jim and Peggy.
So if you are Jim and Peggy in the tribe, or in the future if you see this and you come in.
Hi, Candy. Hi, Danica. Hi, Karen. Thanks for coming in, ladies.
Thanks
Hi, Audrey. Welcome. You're brand new. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, awesome.
So
we have a lot of newbies in our tribe.
Yeah, we're super excited about that.
But we have just a quick capsule summary of a story of Jim and Peggy. I've never had a Jim and Peggy in my practice, so I'm safe anyway. And
I don't know how you haven't.
Oh, maybe I have, and I just don't remember. Right. So my subconscious mind is expressing itself here. But I remember this client because he'd come into the waiting room, and he would often bring a newspaper with him and hold the newspaper up. He was like afraid to be seen in the waiting room, which I thought was kind of interesting and telling. And we never really got into that. But we did talk a lot about the marriage once we had Peggy and also. And this is a marriage that was about 17 years in the making. They had a couple of kids. They remember their dating life. It was like powerful. They enjoyed each other. They had a lot of things in common. They did a lot together, a lot of romantic connection. They enjoyed their dates. They pursued one another. They just brought a life in to the relationship that was really telling. But over 17 years of time, most of that had nearly vanished. They remembered that they loved each other. They would still say that today. However, they would admit that somewhere along the line, they stopped paying attention. They stopped connecting. They stopped investing. They stopped being involved.
Did they have kids?
They had 2 kids. And when I saw them, they were both middle schoolers.
Okay.
And so the strains of having kids was added to the mix. And when I said to them, one of the telling features of your marriage is that you two have just gotten complacent. And they just hung their heads, and they loved that word because they had never thought of that before, that they had just let go of what they were able to create, what they had created before. And it was like this bell went off, and they just really got animated and pretty excited about the idea that maybe it was something as simple as that they could focus on.
And wasn't this the one where the guy said his wife just chewed on him?
Yeah, he would say, it was interesting because his wife would say that about him.
Oh.
That when they had when I saw her individually, that when they had conflict, she would always say that he was chewing on her, and I'd never heard that before. But I never thought of chewing up. Well, never mind the implications of that might be, but chewing on somebody, I don't know. It's kind of ballistic. Anyway, when we focused on, what's the energy you want? What's the alive? Can we bring it back? Can we bring back fun? All those things started to surface again and made a big difference in their marriage. They went from pain to really being able to start over in many ways.
And there's nothing worse than being a struggling, hurting marriage in pain where you knew once upon a time you had an amazing connection, or maybe you've always struggled for the connection, but to know you're living in less than you can really have. And it breaks our heart. And so we're starting to do these Facebook Lives just for that reason, so that we can get the word out. Now, what to do about it, right?
Well, yes, and if you said yes to any of those 5 areas that we've shared with you,
it's a little bit of a red flag, and it's troubling, but.
Well, it's troubling, but we know that what it means is that somewhere in your marriage you want more. Yes. Somewhere in your marriage it just isn't quite working, or isn't good enough, or isn't what you thought it would be. It isn't your dream marriage.
That's right. And just making note of it is already awareness, and awareness is growth. But here's something that's super exciting for us to deliver and tell you about today, to say the least. And we have been there's a lot going into this, so we're just real excited to be able to deliver it to you. For the first time ever, we have never done this before, but we are offering free 45-minute breakthrough sessions. And what these are is an opportunity for us to sit down with you, and you get a chance to tell us everything about your marriage. And we're going to help you get crystal clear on what exactly is going on in your marriage, what are the core problems that are unique to you, and we're going to be able to tell you what you can do about it. 45 minutes of a breakthrough session. Here's a little, with both of us. Yeah. God help you. Here's a little bit of the catch. It is not for everybody. It's just not for everybody. It is for people who are sick and tired of the way things are and want more. People who are motivated, people who are saying, you know what, we want more. While we don't fully get what more is maybe, but we definitely want more than we're living in now. This just isn't good enough.
We want to engage in that conversation that would help us get clear about that and be able to express that, talk about that, and learn from that.
And we're going to be bringing our whole heart, all of our years of experience to help you really undig and get clear about what the issues are so that you can move forward and move towards your dream marriage. So what we're looking for from you today is, if you are interested, simply put a 1 in the chat, or you can private message either Doug or I. At that time, we are going to send to you a life-changing, and we believe this, life-changing webinar that you get to watch, again, free. And after that, there's a brief application, like 4 questions. Because, and let me ask you this right now, this program is only for, this call is only for certain people. Coachable, are you coachable?
Resourceful.
Are you resourceful? Are you decisive? And do you want more? And so please, please, please reach out to us. We're super excited to be able to join and draw alongside you at this time, wherever you're at, if you're open and wanting and motivated for more. And I think that's it. Let's see if there's any questions. Cool. Thank you guys for popping on in. We realize a lot of people will watch this in the replay. Are there any questions, guys? We're happy to open it up just briefly for questions. And we'll wait for just a second. Danica, Candy, Karen, Audrey, please feel free to put questions in the chat. If after we're done here, you've watched on the replay, I'm going to keep engaging with you. We both are in the chat. So again, put a 1 in the chat if you're interested, or just private message Doug and I. And we are so excited. We are thrilled to be able to help you move towards the love life and the marriage that you long for deep down, guys. So
I might add something to this too.
Yeah.
That I think if we look at our marriage and what we're hoping to bring, we're so excited about this, in part because we get to live it out.
We
had to deal with complacency too.
We did.
We had to conquer. We had to figure out the ingredients that go into this for ourselves. And
right. So, we didn't just enter into this marriage and there it was for us. Early in our marriage, we had real struggles, particularly after my mom was diagnosed with cancer. We had a son born with autism, and we were working way too much, and our connection was very strained and very tense, and we were very distant. Our sex life was compromised, and we were in the big stuck place. But we undid it over time. And so we're not only bringing how we undid it for you guys, but we've also got all our cases that we've helped undo their pain places into the marriages that they long for. And there's nothing more important than your most important relationship, which is your marriage. The quality of that relationship dictates the quality of your life. We know it. We know it. And so we want to help you get it to the greatest place it can be, because it is vibrant and life-giving when you're living a dream marriage. It's a blessing beyond. So there you go. That's it, guys. Thanks for jumping on in, and we will probably see you again next week. We'll be doing lives more consistently now. And just reach out if you need to and want to and are ready to take it to a better place. Okay? Take good care, guys.